Collecting data does not have to be boring. On Saturday, I was at the Chicago Architectural Center and I saw this really cool way that they were collecting data, and I want to share it with you. Because I think sometimes we get stuck in this way of thinking where it's like, oh, I can like only do a survey and it's so boring. Surveys don't have to be boring. Like, this is a super cool way to do a survey. Okay, so you walk into this like little round display and you see the question, which is, what do you most want to see in a renewed Thompson Center rotunda? Drop a ball into the vessel of your choice. So then you walk in, you take a little orange ball out of this box, and you can put it in any one of these tubes to like respond to the survey, to cast your vote. Like, this is a really cool idea. You can feel free to disagree with me, but I was like, Chicago Architectural Center, this is a fun survey taking experience. I'm delighted. I want to take your survey. I want to give you data because I want to like take a little orange ball out of this box and I want to like put it somewhere to vote. That's super cool. However, I would be not myself if I didn't share a few small tweaks that they could do to make this even better. So the first thing I would do, because I went to like, I was like, oh, I want to take this survey. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I don't remember what the Thompson Center Rotunda is. So I had to go to a different part of the exhibit to like see what it was. It would be great if here, like there's all this blue space right here, right? Like you could put a picture or an overhead map of the Thompson Center Rotunda. Like you could improve the quality of responses you get by making sure people know what you're asking about. You got the room, put a picture there, put a map there, put the cross streets, maybe put a little description of what the Thompson Center Rotunda is. That would make this so much better. It would get you better data. Then, so that would be to me, I'm like, it's not quite like specific enough because I don't actually know exactly what I'm thinking of when I'm answering your question. Then there's this instructions to like drop a ball into the vessel of your choice. Vessel is an advanced word, y'all. Make it more simple. You could say container. You could say container, and that would be more simple. Like we could brainstorm other more simple ways to say that, but like vessel is a little too advanced. I'm sure people can see the like tubes they can put something in, but like let's just not even risk potentially confusing someone with more advanced language. Let's make the word a little more simple. The need for simplicity continues with these answer choices, like enlivened with indoor public gardens. Enlivened, really? Maybe you could just say like, I would like to see there be public gardens inside, you know, like that could be made more simple. Programmed with public art and performances. I see that they're like feeling the need to have a verb there, but like you just don't really need to. You can just be like, I would like to see there be more public art and performances there, right? Like maybe we even want to define performances. Like, is it concerts? Is it dance? Is it theater? Is it plays, right? Like you could again just like make this more simple and specific. Host a year-round public market. Public market could be terminology people aren't familiar with. It'd be great to define that or give an example. And then repurposed as a shopping and dining destination. Like, again, this could just be so much more simple. Like, I'd love it to be somewhere where I can go shopping and eat. Done. So like we could use some simplicity, some specificity, but most importantly, if you're gonna do something cool and innovative like this, you have to have like a system in place. What do I mean? Here are some things that come to mind. A child coming in and picking up a bunch of those little balls and just like putting them all over the place. Those aren't actually votes that you would want to count. How do you get around that? Do you put the box up higher so that a child couldn't reach? Do you have someone standing there and monitoring to make sure that any balls that were put in the tubes as like a fun playtime for a child aren't counted as votes, right? Like there are things you could do to get around that. And then lastly, there is this issue. Because I wanted to vote for indoor public gardens and I couldn't because literally no more orange balls could fit in that tube. It was packed full. So I was left with the choice to either not vote or to vote for my second choice. Why is that a problem? Because you're not actually now getting data on people's first choice. You're getting data on either their first or second, or depending how many of these tubes fill up, like third or fourth choice, or they're just opting out of it completely because you haven't accommodated for me to be able to respond. How do you get around this? You need some sort of system. You need to be able to monitor, to like watch and see what's happening and know like, oh, hey, this is filled all the way up. We need to count these. We need to empty it out and like create space for people to start voting again. You could imagine someone who's really like tech savvy, like when it reached a certain weight, could it just like get sucked out of the bottom and put back into the voting box so it like automatically started over if you don't want to like have someone have to stand there all the time, right? Like you could get creative with this, but good data really depends on people being able to share their like true honest response and for you to be able to keep track of and like accommodate all of those responses. But like overall, I think that was a super fun creative idea. I would not trust the data from it because they don't have these procedures in place. And I also think the question could be better, but I love the idea. I love where they're going with it. And yeah, I'd love to help design something like that. It's so cool. Super interesting. Wanted to share. You can get creative with your surveys, y'all. Just make sure you have like systems and processes in place to make sure your creativity isn't in place of like good survey design.